Hey guys, Steve from Exclusive Wraps here. Welcome back to another one of our video features. This time, a very special one for you. It's a double feature. As you can see behind me, we have not one, but two GT-Rs in none other than Millennium Jade. All right, now that you've seen a quick look at what we're about to show you, those of you who have a short attention span can click off now. You've had the cliff notes. Let's go into a little bit more depth on these two JDM icons right here. Now, first of all, it's not very often that you get to see any GT-R, whether it be 34, 35, in Millennium Jade, let alone two from two different generations. So we feel very privileged to have them both here today. Now, let's take a bit of a closer look at the pair of these cars, see if we can draw a few comparisons between them, other than obviously the JWO Millennium Jade paint. Let's start with the R34. So this one is a 2002 R34 GT-R V-Spec II NUR. $718 of these have been produced, 156 of which are in this particular paint color. So already an extremely rare car. If my facts are correct, I read that one of these sold for a bit over $400,000 about a year or two ago, with only 10 kilometers on the clock, mind you, but that's absolutely insane money. So these things, people are cashing in on the GT-R craze at the moment. Obviously the States are now able to, or are almost able to purchase these things, so the prices are only going up. So they're very rare, very collectible car. So this one is mostly stock. It has Öhlins suspension, an F-Con V piggyback ECU, Nismo exhaust, some Nismo LED taillights, which no good 34 GT-R should be without. And that's about all the modifications that this one has done at the moment. The factory engine and turbos making about 300 kilowatts. Nice little package there, unmodified, unmolested. I believe the owner also has a set of Nismo LMGT4s hiding somewhere in a garage, but you might see them one day in the future if you're ever out at a GT-R meet. Moving over to the T-spec. Now this one we're told is going to be the last of the R35s, or at least Nissan is hinting at. This one making 416 kilowatts out of the 3.8 litre V6 twin turbo that we've seen in most of the R35s to date, which compared to the 34 GT-R, the Japanese gentleman's agreement was 280 kilowatts out of the old RB26 2.6 litre twin turbo. So a little bit of a gap in power there, but obviously we have about 20 years worth of refining, and obviously it's a much larger motor in the R35. It's also a much larger car. You can probably tell if you have a good look at these images here. The 35 is a lot wider, it's a lot heavier as well. But if you come for a walk with me around the car, we'll show you some of the other details. The T-spec comes with these beautiful ZE70, I'm sure you can correct me on this one, rims that you'll find on a Nismo edition without the stripe and badging and things like that on it. So they've put them on the T-spec for this special edition. Very nice addition to the car. Right behind it are some absolutely ginormous brakes. We should compare the brakes on this one to those of a 2002 model GT-R. Take a look at the size difference. Alrighty guys, we decided to reset the workshop, turn the cars around so that we can get the front ends side by side. This way we can give you a better comparison of the differences between the two. First things first, let's pop the hoods and give you a look at the two engines. Take a look at that beautiful carbon fiber hood. All right guys, so before we talk about the engines, the first thing that I noticed when I opened the hoods on these two cars was the weight of the bonnets. So this one here, 34, has the carbon bonnet. super lightweight, but very strong. The R35 has an aluminium hood, which is still quite lightweight, but when you compare the two, felt a lot heavier. Now, if you stick your head or camera in the beautiful engine bay of this 2002 GT-R V-Spec II NUR, you will see the classic RB26 2.6 litre twin turbo motor, completely unfettered with the standard N1 turbos, making very, very fun 300 kilowatts the wheels. And for those of you that are Nissan aficionados and know your paint codes and color codes, that right there on the engine covers is none other than silica breath. If we make our way over to the R35, you'll notice completely different engineering 20 years down the track. We have the big 3.8 litre V6, still twin turbo thankfully, making about 416 kilowatts. A lot of things have changed over the years, including the output and the size of the motor and everything else, but such is progression, I suppose. All right guys, let's go around the rear of the cars. We'll compare the back ends, shall we? All right, so first thing you're gonna notice, as per from the front, 35 GT-R has a really, really wide rear end. Beautiful LED taillights on the R35. The R34 also has a beautiful set of LED taillights, courtesy of Nismo. These things getting super rare and super expensive these days if you want LED taillights for your R34. Also, you'll notice the Nismo Welding Exhaust on the R34 and the titanium exhaust on the R35. Now those tips look really nice in blue at the moment. Give it a couple of hot laps at a track or during a track day and those are going to start to fade away to a more bronzy finish. Unfortunately, that titanium look doesn't stick around forever. Another really cool feature is Nissan have decided to keep the trend of having carbon underbody rear diffusers. And if we're looking at the one on the R34, it's actually probably a little bit more aggressive looking. It has a couple of fins that run vertically and it runs up to around where the rear wheels are. So even these things, again, very rare, very hard to find. Alrighty, so now we're on the inside of the R34 GT-R V-Spec II NUR. What's the first thing you notice? Probably the seats. They have some very, very nice seats. Great for racing. They have holes in the back to allow you to pass harnesses through if you actually do want to race the vehicle. You'll also notice up the center console has a brushed aluminium, sort of a textured piece right there, and they've carried that over into the dash as well. Now on this particular model, on the V-Spec II NURs, they've given you the upgraded 300 km/h dash as well, that you can see there. And in true 34 GT-R fashion, you have the MFD, the multi-function display. So this is one of the very earliest cars, I would say, to have a multi-function style display. Nowadays, every car that you buy has a screen in the middle for something or other, but Nissan was doing it back in 2002, or probably back in '99 when they first started making 34 GT-Rs. It also has got back seats. They are functional. This is classed as a 4-seater vehicle. And now to the inside of the T-spec. Now, this looks a little bit different, even to the normal 35 GT-Rs. If you happen to option the Millennium Jade color, you'll get this very impressive, and probably not to everyone's taste, but I gotta say I quite like dark green with goldy yellow stitching on the interior. Let us know what you think about this one in the comments. I actually think it looks quite nice. We have a carbon fiber center console, which looks very nice. And for a car that was made in 2021, we still have a standard handbrake, which is kind of nice, even though we don't have a standard manual. This car also has not one, not two, there's two here, but 3 cup holders. Take a look in the back. In front of the 2 big subs. It's very, very luxurious. Even the roof of the car has a very unique stitching pattern. Now, as per a lot of our other video reviews, let's give you a quick look at the boot space. If I remember correctly, back when the GT-R was launched, Nissan said they would make the R35 GT-R boot space suitable for housing a set of golf clubs for the gentleman. And now over to the R34. Maybe you could, actually, you can still fit a set of golf clubs in here, I'm quite sure. Maybe not quite as much room as in the R35, but very usable, very tidy, lots of space. Oh, and you also have your spare toolkit, assuming it is still here, which it is, the jack, the classic Nissan jack. That about rounds out our comparison of the two cars. Now, to the reason the T-spec is here in the first place. I believe, to my knowledge, at the time of shooting this video, this was the first one delivered in Brisbane, in Queensland, I believe. And this one came straight to us from the dealership. The owner brought it in for us to do a full Xpel paint protection film kit. Of course, you're waiting for those words. We say it on every video, but that's why this one's here, to protect that beautiful Millennium Jade paintwork for many, many years to come. I think that about wraps up everything else that I need to tell you guys on this video. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the comparison of the 34 GT-R V-Spec II NUR and the R35 GT-R T-spec. Hope to see you on the next one. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.
Whoa, clear out the room, I'm coming through. They wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill. I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it. I'm today's trying to top it. I put commas over bullshit. Yeah, I put that on mamas. They tryna block all my blessings. They thought I lost a stepping.